There is a hidden art to deception, one so subtle, so carefully woven into human interaction that it often goes unnoticed until the damage is already done. A false smile, a carefully placed compliment, a conversation that seems warm but lacks true warmth. These are the tools of those who wear masks. You have met them before. Perhaps you still do. People who seem like friends, allies, or even lovers, yet something about them feels off. They nod at the right moments, they say the right things. But deep down, your instincts whisper a warning. This person is not who they pretend to be. And here lies the greatest deception of all. The most dangerous fake people are not the ones you immediately recognize. They are the ones who convince you that they are real. But what if you could see through them? What if you could recognize the hidden signals, the cracks in the illusion, before it's too late? Today, wisdom seekers, we will uncover the 8 signs someone is completely fake with you, not just in their words, but in the very fabric of their existence. And to do this, we will look at one of the most powerful philosophies in history, Stoicism. For centuries, Stoic thinkers such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus sought one thing above all else: truth. Not just truth in words, but in character, in action, in the soul itself. They taught that the wise man is never fooled by appearances, never swayed by false emotions, and never deceived by those who seek to manipulate him. Today, we bring their wisdom into the modern world. By the end of this journey, you will possess something rare: the ability to detect those who deceive you before they even realize they've been caught. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Every like, subscribe helps us continue our mission of sharing knowledge. And leave a comment below and share your opinion on these signs, or tell me which one resonates with you the most. Ready to unlock more wisdom? Let's get started. Sign 1. Their words are sweet, but their actions are sour. Words are the easiest currency to counterfeit. A man can promise loyalty, love, and respect. A friend can speak of undying support. A colleague can swear they have your back. But words by themselves are nothing more than air dressed in sound. They weigh nothing. They demand no effort. They can be given freely, without cost, without sacrifice. It is in action that truth is revealed. The ancient Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." But ambitions, true ambitions, are not found in speeches, nor in carefully crafted sentences. They are revealed in what a person chooses to do. And this is where the fake person betrays themselves. Observe closely. When someone speaks, they may tell you that they respect you. But does their behavior reflect that? Do they keep their promises, or do they conveniently forget them? Do they stand by your side when you need them most, or do they disappear when the moment requires effort, sacrifice, and inconvenience? Fake people are masters of illusion. They are actors in a play where they write the script, but they never intend to play the part they claim to embrace. Watch for contradictions. They tell you they value honesty, but you catch them lying. They say they care about your well-being, but their actions place you in harm's way. They promise support, but when you fall, their hands are nowhere to be found. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest Stoic minds, once said, "Words should be weighed, not counted." It is not how much someone says that determines their character, but how much their actions support their words. A real person does not need to tell you how loyal they are. They simply are. A real friend does not need to promise they will always be there for you. They just are. A real leader does not need to give speeches about their integrity. They act with integrity, regardless of whether eyes are watching. Fake people, however, are different. They rely on words to create an image they cannot maintain through actions, and sooner or later their inconsistency will betray them. What is the test? The test is simple. Forget what they say. Watch what they do. When they tell you they will be there for you, see if they actually show up. When they claim to value honesty, observe if they tell the truth, even when it costs them something. When they promise to help, see if their help actually arrives, or if it remains just another beautiful lie. Many men in history have fallen because they believed in the words of a deceiver. Julius Caesar, a man who trusted too easily, was stabbed to death by those who swore loyalty. Socrates, one of the greatest minds of all time, was betrayed by the very people he sought to enlighten. This is the fate of those who trust in words, without testing them through action. Be different, be wiser. Watch for those whose words are sweet, but whose actions are sour. They will reveal themselves, given time. The question is, will you be paying attention? Sign 2. They are too agreeable, too perfect, too pleasing. There is an old saying, a man who never disagrees with you is either a fool or a liar. True relationships, friendships, partnerships, alliances are built on truth. And truth is not always comfortable. It does not always sound pleasant. It does not always confirm what we want to hear. This is why the fake person avoids it. They are too agreeable, too perfect in their alignment with your thoughts. If you say the sky is green, they nod. If you claim the impossible, they agree. If you express an opinion, they adopt it as their own. This is not loyalty. This is deception. The Stoics taught that true wisdom is the ability to embrace disagreement, to confront reality even when it is unpleasant. A real friend, a real ally, does not fear conflict when it serves the pursuit of truth. They will challenge you when you are wrong. They will push back when you stray from your path. They will tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. Fake people do the opposite. They construct a false version of themselves to match whatever you desire. They mirror your thoughts, your opinions, your values, not because they believe in them, but because they want something from you. Approval, influence, access, control. Look for the signs. They rarely voice their own opinions, and when they do, they are strangely identical to yours. They change their beliefs depending on who they are speaking to. They never push back, never challenge, never argue, because their goal is not truth, but manipulation. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." The pursuit of truth is not about appearing agreeable, it is about being real. The fake person does not wish to improve. They wish to remain in your good graces at all costs, even if that means deceiving you. But here's the truth. A person who never challenges you is not your friend. A person who agrees with everything you say is not your ally. A person who never dares to speak their mind is not authentic. This is not kindness. This is cowardice. The greatest minds in history were not surrounded by people who agreed with them. They were surrounded by people who sharpened them, challenged them, and tested them. Socrates had critics. Marcus Aurelius had advisors who told him when he was wrong. Seneca himself was unafraid to question even the emperor of Rome. Now ask yourself, do the people around you challenge you, or do they simply tell you what you want to hear? A fake person will never risk your disapproval. A real person will, because they value truth more than temporary comfort. Choose wisely. Sign 3. They disappear when you need them the most. There is no clearer test of character than hardship. When everything is going well, when laughter is easy, when success fills the air, people will gather around you like moths to a flame. They will shake your hand, call you their friend, and celebrate in your victories. But when the fire dims, when trouble strikes, when the winds turn against you, who remains? The answer to this question will reveal more than 1,000 conversations ever could. Seneca once wrote, "Misfortune is the test of true friendship. Nothing strips away illusion faster than adversity. Nothing exposes a man's true intentions more than suffering." Fake people vanish the moment they can no longer benefit from you. Watch for the ones who disappear when the celebration ends. When you are at your lowest, they suddenly become busy. Their messages become delayed. Their enthusiasm fades. Their promises, once so confidently spoken, turn into excuses, apologies, silence. But when you rise again, when success returns, suddenly they reappear, their voices full of warmth, their words rich with admiration. This is not friendship. This is opportunism. The Stoics understood that a real relationship is not based on convenience but on virtue, on the strength of character, on loyalty that does not waver with the seasons. Marcus Aurelius, in his private reflections, reminded himself to be cautious of those who followed him only when times were good. A man who cannot stand beside you in the storm has no right to enjoy the sunshine of your success. It is easy to say, "I would never leave you in difficult times," but few have the courage to prove it. Think back to the moments in your life when you struggled. Who was there? Who checked in on you? Not just once, not just for appearances, but consistently. Who stood by your side when you had nothing to offer? And now ask yourself, Who disappeared? Fake people always follow the same pattern. They are eager to share in your triumphs, but they vanish when you are at your weakest. A real person, a real friend, does not flee when times grow dark. They become the light. Epictetus, the former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught that it is in suffering that we see the truth of those around us. Pain strips away illusion. It reveals who values you for who you are and who only values what they can take from you. So do not be blinded by charm, by grand gestures, by hollow words. When hardship arrives, let it show you the truth. And when the dust settles, walk away from those who were never truly there to begin with. Sign 4. They secretly compete with you instead of supporting you. There is a hidden form of deceit, one more insidious than outright betrayal. It is the deception of false support, the illusion of encouragement from someone who, deep down, does not want you to succeed. You have met these people before. They smile when you tell them your goals, but their smile does not reach their eyes. They say they are happy for you, but something in their tone feels hollow. They offer congratulations, but the moment you turn your back, their own insecurities emerge. Why? Because your success reminds them of their own failures. This is the mind of the envious, the insecure, the fake. They do not want to see you fall, but they also do not want to see you rise too high. They want you close, but never above them. A true friend, a real ally, finds joy in your growth. They celebrate your victories as if they were their own. But a fake person sees your achievements as a threat. Seneca warned about these kinds of people, reminding us that the envious do not attack you openly. They undermine you in subtle ways. They disguise their jealousy as concern. Are you sure this is the right decision? I don't know if you have what it takes. Maybe you should wait before trying this. They minimize your success. Oh, you just got lucky. It's not that impressive. Anyone could have done that. They withhold genuine praise, always giving you just enough support to maintain the illusion of friendship, but never enough to lift you higher. Marcus Aurelius, a man surrounded by advisors, politicians, and power-hungry elites, understood the danger of these people well. He wrote in Meditations, "The happiness of those who want to be better than you, this is what troubles the envious man." Fake people do not seek your failure. They fear your greatness. So how do you recognize them? Observe how they react to your victories. A real person wants to see you win. They celebrate your growth, encourage your ambitions, and push you forward. A fake person pretends to celebrate but secretly hopes you do not surpass them. Look at their body language when you succeed. Do they seem tense? Does their expression falter for a moment? Do they quickly change the subject or downplay your achievement? Watch how they treat you when you struggle. Do they offer genuine support, or does their voice carry a hint of satisfaction? Listen to how they speak of others who succeed. Do they admire greatness, or do they resent it? Do they build others up, or do they constantly find ways to tear them down? A man who cannot celebrate the success of others will never truly support yours. The Stoics taught that a wise man does not compare himself to others. He compares himself only to his past self. The fake person, however, is obsessed with comparison. They cannot be content unless they feel superior. They measure their worth not by growth, but by dominance over those around them. Beware of those who secretly compete with you while pretending to support you. They will never lift you higher than they allow themselves to rise. Instead, surround yourself with those who find joy in your success, who push you further, who challenge you not to hold you back, but to help you become greater. For that is the true mark of real character. Not just rising yourself, but helping others rise with you. Sign 5. They gossip about others, and one day they will gossip about you. There is a poison that spreads in silence, disguised as harmless conversation. It weaves itself into words spoken behind closed doors, in hushed voices with a casual shrug. It pretends to be concern, curiosity, or even humor. But make no mistake, this poison destroys trust, corrupts loyalty, and reveals the truth about those who spread it. That poison is gossip. You have seen it before. The friend who leans in and whispers, "Did you hear what happened to him?" The colleague who smirks as they share details about someone's failure. The person who seems to know everything about everyone, but only when they're not in the room. And perhaps in those moments, you think to yourself, "I am safe." They would never speak about me this way. But you are wrong. A person who speaks poorly about others in your presence will one day speak poorly about you in someone else's. Marcus Aurelius warned against this kind of person. He wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. A man who fills his thoughts with judgment, ridicule, and malice cannot help but let those thoughts shape his actions." The gossip does not discriminate. He does not betray only his enemies. He betrays everyone. Because gossip is not just about spreading stories. It is about power. Look closely. The gossip does not share information to inform. He shares it to gain control, to place himself at the center of knowledge, to wield his words like a weapon. He pretends to be trustworthy, but his actions betray him. You may think you are different, that your bond with this person is special, that they would never turn their tongue against you. But understand this: loyalty is a habit, and betrayal is a habit too. The Stoics taught that a man of virtue does not waste time speaking ill of others. He seeks to build, not destroy. He focuses on self-improvement, not the downfall of those around him. Seneca put it simply: the greatest minds are occupied with ideas. The weakest minds are occupied with people. A person who constantly discusses the failures, flaws, and secrets of others is telling you something about themselves. They are revealing that they thrive on the misfortune of others, that they lack the strength to confront their own weaknesses, so they mask them by exposing someone else's, that they are willing to betray those closest to them for the cheap currency of momentary amusement. And so, the question is not if they will betray you. The question is when. Because the moment you no longer serve their interests, the moment you fall out of favor, the moment they find a better audience, your name will be the next one to leave their lips. The wise man does not surround himself with those who feast on the misfortunes of others. He chooses his circle carefully, knowing that the man who cannot be trusted with the secrets of others cannot be trusted at all. So pay attention. When they gossip about others, do not be entertained. Be warned. Sign 6. They manipulate your emotions to control you. There is a weapon more dangerous than the sword, more deceptive than the lie, more powerful than force. It does not leave wounds on the skin, yet it can destroy a man from within. It is the weapon of emotional manipulation. Fake people do not fight with fists or words. They fight with feelings. They twist your emotions until you no longer know what is real and what is not. The Stoics warned against this. They believed that a man who cannot control his emotions is a man who can be controlled by others, and this is exactly what the manipulator wants. They do not attack you directly. Instead, they make you question yourself. They use guilt. After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me. They use shame. If you were a real friend, you would understand. They use fear. If you leave, you'll never find someone else who cares about you like I do. They play the victim when they are the ones at fault. They twist your kindness into a weakness. They make you feel responsible for their happiness, their failures, their emotions, until you are no longer living for yourself, but for them. The Stoic philosophers had a different view of emotions. They believed that while emotions are natural, they should never be the master of a man. Epictetus wrote, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." In other words, the manipulator only succeeds if you allow them to control your emotions. So how do you recognize them? Watch for patterns. A fake person will always make you feel like you are walking on thin ice. One wrong word, one wrong action, and they withdraw their affection. They condition you to fear their reactions. They make you doubt yourself. They tell you that you are being too sensitive, too dramatic, too unreasonable, even when your concerns are valid. They use kindness as a tool, not as a virtue. One day, they shower you with warmth, and the next, they turn cold, forcing you to chase their approval. They never take responsibility. If they hurt you, it is because you misunderstood. If they break a promise, it is because you expected too much. If they disappoint you, it is because you should have been more patient. This is not love. This is not friendship. This is control. A real person, an honest, trustworthy person, does not manipulate emotions. They do not make you feel guilty for setting boundaries. They do not punish you for disagreeing with them. They do not use affection as a weapon, giving and withdrawing it based on whether you are obedient. Seneca once said, He who has power over himself has power over the world. A fake person does not want you to have power over yourself. They want you to be ruled by them. So what can you do? First, recognize the game. When you see the manipulation for what it is, it loses its power over you. Second, refuse to play. When someone tries to guilt you, shame you, or make you afraid, do not react. Stay calm. Stand firm. Third, walk away. The Stoics believed that the only way to deal with toxic people was to remove them from your life. There is no reasoning with a manipulator. There is no fixing them. They do not need your understanding. They need your absence. A fake person will always seek to control you through emotion. A wise man controls himself, and in doing so, he becomes untouchable. Sign 7, they are only loyal when it benefits them. Loyalty is one of the rarest and most precious qualities in human nature. It is easy to say, I am with you. It is easy to make promises, to declare allegiance, to call someone a friend. But the truth of a man's loyalty is not found in his words. It is found in his actions, especially when those actions demand sacrifice. And this is where fake people fail. A fake person is only loyal when it is convenient, when it benefits them, when it costs them nothing. But the moment loyalty requires effort, the moment standing by your side could cost them status, comfort, or opportunity, they hesitate. They disappear, or worse, they betray you. The Stoics understood that true loyalty comes not from obligation, but from character. Epictetus once said, you become what you give your attention to. A man who gives his attention to self-interest above all else cannot be loyal, because his only true loyalty is to himself. Observe carefully. Fake people always reveal their nature in small ways before they reveal it in big ways. Think back. Has this person ever defended you when you are not in the room? Or do they stay silent when others speak against you? Have they ever supported you at a cost to themselves? Or is their loyalty only present when there is no risk involved? Do they remain by your side in difficult moments? Or do they always seem to have an excuse when you need them most? A fake person is a master of justifications. They will say, I didn't want to get involved. They will say, it wasn't my place to say anything. They will say, I was going to help, but something came up. But when they need something from you, their loyalty suddenly reappears. They call you their friend. They remind you of the times they stood by you, carefully selecting the few moments that make them look good while ignoring the countless moments they were absent. This is not real loyalty. This is transactional loyalty. Marcus Aurelius, surrounded by men who sought power rather than virtue, understood this well. He wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. A real man does not wait for the perfect moment to prove his loyalty. He simply is loyal, always. The fake man, however, calculates. He measures the cost. He asks himself, what do I gain from this? What do I lose? And if the answer does not serve him, he vanishes. This is why fake people will betray you when it suits them. It is not personal. It is not because they hate you. It is because they never truly cared for you in the first place. You were a convenience, not a commitment. Seneca warned that we should be slow to call someone a friend. Before you trust a man, first test him. And how do you test him? Watch what he does when loyalty demands sacrifice. Does he defend you in public, even when it costs him popularity? Does he support you in private, even when no one is watching? Does he stand by you when you are struggling, when there's no benefit in doing so? Loyalty is not about words, it is about action. And a fake person's actions will always betray them. So do not be deceived by empty promises. Do not mistake politeness for loyalty. When the time comes, a fake person will always put himself first. A real person will always put the relationship first, and that difference is everything. Sign 8. They drain you more than they help you grow. Some people give you energy. Some people take it away. You have met both kinds before. There are those who inspire you, who push you to be better, who make you feel stronger simply by being in their presence. Conversations with them leave you feeling clear-minded, focused, and ready to face the world. And then there are the others, the ones who leave you drained. These people do not build, they consume. They are emotional parasites. They demand your time, your attention, your energy, but they give nothing in return. They are always in crisis, always in need, always looking to you to fix something. At first it may seem like you are helping a friend, but over time, you start to realize that no matter how much you give, it is never enough. They do not truly want solutions. They want control. And the more you give, the weaker you become. The Stoics believed that energy was one of the most valuable resources a man could have. They taught that a wise man does not waste himself on things that do not serve his growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This means that when someone constantly drains you, it is not just their fault, it is yours as well. You allow it. You permit it. So how do you recognize an emotional parasite? Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with them. Do you feel lighter, or do you feel heavier? Do you feel motivated, or do you feel exhausted? Do you leave the conversation with clarity, or do you leave with confusion? A fake person does not care about your well-being. They care only about what they can take from you. They keep you close, not because they value you, but because they need you. And that is the key difference between a real relationship and a fake one. A real relationship is about mutual support, mutual growth, mutual strength. A fake relationship is one-sided. It is a game of taking, of using, of demanding more and more until you have nothing left to give. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is true in all areas of life, including relationships. If someone drains you, it is up to you to stop it, to set boundaries, to walk away. Because a fake person will never stop taking. It is in their nature. But you have a choice. You can decide where your energy goes. You can decide who gets access to your time, your emotions, your presence. And the truth is, not everyone deserves access to you. The Stoics taught that the wise man surrounds himself with those who strengthen him, not those who weaken him. And so, in the end, the final test is simple. Does this person add to your life, or do they subtract from it? If they add, keep them close. If they subtract, let them go. Because the greatest power you have is not in changing others. It is in choosing who is allowed to stay. Final thoughts. The power of choice. Wisdom seekers, you now see the truth. Fake people are not always obvious. They do not walk into your life wearing masks or announcing their intentions. They come as friends, as companions, as trusted voices. They smile, they listen. They offer what seems like support. But beneath it all, there is something missing: genuineness, loyalty, virtue. The Stoics believed that the quality of your life is determined by the company you keep. They understood that the people around you are not just part of your environment. They shape your mind, your emotions, your character. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The soul is dyed with the color of its thoughts." But what he did not need to say, because it is so painfully obvious, is that our thoughts are shaped by those we surround ourselves with. If you spend time with the insincere, you will begin to doubt sincerity. If you surround yourself with liars, you will struggle to see truth. If you give your loyalty to the disloyal, you will find yourself betrayed. The most valuable thing you possess in this life is your time. And every second you spend in the presence of the fake is a second that could have been spent with the real. So what is the solution? Choose carefully. Test the people in your life, not with words, but with actions. Pay attention to who stands by you when there's no reward in doing so. Pay attention to who lifts you up instead of pulling you down. Pay attention to who remains steady when life grows difficult. Seneca said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." That is the ultimate rule. The people around you should strengthen you, not drain you, not deceive you, not manipulate you, not betray you. They should push you toward greatness. They should sharpen your mind, challenge your weaknesses, and support you in your struggles. And if they do not, then you must have the strength to let them go. There is no honor in holding on to what is false. There is no wisdom in keeping those who would betray you. The Stoics did not fear loss, because they understood that to remove what is harmful is to protect what is good. So ask yourself, who in your life is real? Who is fake? And once you have your answer, act, because the greatest power you have is not in changing others. It is in choosing who is allowed to stay.